Hi guys, it's John here from Power DIY, and today the project is going to be this handy little toolbox. So this is just made out of 18mm ply. You can make it out of anything you have, any scraps, a little bits of scraps of wood here, a bit of OSB board, anything at all. Even odd shapes like this, don't throw anything out. I mean, this can literally do for an end here. So whatever scraps you have lying around will pretty much dictate the size of this box. You can either have a little smaller one, wider, longer, higher, whatever. So, but this particular one is, give or take a couple of millimeters, 360mm long, which is approximately 14 1/8 of an inch. It's 180mm wide, which is 7 1/8 of an inch, and high is 295. Yeah, 295. So 295mm, which is approximately 11 5/8 of an inch. But all of these measurements will be in the description below, so don't worry about that at the moment. And basically just an old sweeping brush handle. I have one here that it's been used for everything. A handle for a roller, paint roller, everything. So you know, I just literally cut a piece off here. So whatever you have lying around, big dowels, whatever, doesn't matter what you use. So this is literally just made out of scraps of wood, but a great handy little piece. So all the tools you're going to need really is a circular saw here, but the hand saw is just as good, a little bit slower, but every bit as good. I have a drill here with a 3mm bit just for the pilot holes, and a driver, but again, you don't really need a driver. You can just take this out, put in your bit, drive the screws, there's no problem. We have a 25mm flat bit, which is what I use for the handle. But again, the size of your handle is going to dictate the size of the flat bit you use. A couple of clamps, which is dead handy. Wood glue. And the screws I use are 3.5 by 40s. But you know, again, whatever you have. Bit of sandpaper. Water, because this is going to stress you out, so you can throw it down your neck, you can get a drink. All is good, very easy to make. And just your pencil and a pad, just to keep some notes, a little bit of sandpaper for the finish, and then literally whatever paint you use. Again, this is just a little bit of wash, just whatever I had lying around. I just put it on it just to tidy it up a little bit, but you could obviously make yours look really cool. You can write something on the side, somebody's name, whatever you want to do. You can even put designs down here, you can drill a few holes, whatever you want. So that's it guys, we're just going to, what I'm going to do is I'm going to square off some of these timbers. That's going to dictate the size of the box, and we'll take it from there. I'll speak to you soon. Okay guys, so the size we decided to go with is, the base is 320mm long by 180mm wide. So these are the sides. Now normally I would make these 120, but I made them 100 because this is 18mm ply, so it's a bit chunkier. So it would mean that the side and the handle would have to be way up here, because these would be even higher again. So I just kept them down at 100, which is still good, plenty of depth here. So what we're going to do now is we're going to drill them, glue them and screw them together. But what I'll do first is I'll just show you, because I had to cut these outside because of the dust inside. Okay, so I'm just going to show you how to cut these using this saw, just with your basic clamp. So I'll just clamp this to the side here. So when you have your line, you would have used your square. I'm going to put your line somewhere along here, so we'll just put one here, just to give us a guide for a moment. Okay, so as you can see, I've had to cut it with my left hand there, so I covered myself in sawdust. But you'll be using your right hand probably, so you can go that side and the dust will go away from you. But as you can see, you can cut those nice and straight. You can use a circular saw, a hand saw, whatever you have. So I'm just going to go ahead now and we're going to assemble that bottom section. Okay, so we have the base cut and we have the two sides cut. So what we're going to do now is we're going to do assembly. So we'll take what we'll do actually first is we'll just mark in here where we're going to drill the pile of holes. So just do a rough guide here and the same here. And just put this over the side. So we'll drill, say, 4 holes and do just put this up on another bit of timber. So if you do it through here, you're going to drill through your bench or your table. So try not to push too hard. Try not to push too hard because these bits are very brittle and they'll snap. And as well as you don't want to push out the other side here. So see this here. So just take it a bit easy. I'm rushing it a little bit because I'm trying to just show you this. But okay, what we'll do now is we'll put some glue on here. On the side. And get our screws ready and our drill. So now, it's a tricky little bit here, so we just need to turn this over so we can drill these in from the other side. So we just flip this over, like so. And once we have this over, we'll get one screw in this side which should hold it steady. To make sure everything is nice and flush. Okay, so we have one in. And we'll just hold it steady just to stop it falling apart while we're getting the few screws in. So we'll just put one more in here, one on this side. Again, just making sure everything is nice and flush. Well, the screws going in nice and straight so that if you go sideways you'll come out the side, if you go this way you'll come inside into the box. So try and keep everything straight. Okay, that's that done. So when we flip this over, you see a nice steady box. So what we're going to do now is we're now going to do the ends, and I'm going to show you how to do that now. Okay, so we have our base and we have our two sides, so we're now looking to make the ends. So what we'll do is, because these are just all offcuts of ply from, random bits of jobs that I have, just make sure that you find 2 square edges. So just mark these with an arrow because I just made sure that these were nice and square. These are a bit iffy, so we're going to use this one. We're going to go off of this side so we know this is good. So we can mark this here down the bottom, and then we can put 2 marks here. Okay, and move this up the side. Now what that'll do is it just gives us our measurement here. Now get your square just to double check this. So we'll put a line up here. This was the mark of our box, so we'll run a line across here. Now we know that from our base is 180 mil, so 18 centimeters. So there's 180 there, 180 here. So what we'll do is we'll just put another, say, 180 here. I'll just use the box here just for a line for a moment. what I want is, I want this to be up here somewhere around 300 with my handle here. So I'm going to make this 300 high. So we know this is 180, so we need to find the center. So we mark this at 90. We'll mark this at 90. We'll just get a straight edge. Okay, so we need to find our center. So mark this at 90. This at 90 mil. We'll get our straight edge here. Just get it so we have a center line. Now, what we want is, we want to come up, I want this to be 300. You can have this as height, whatever you like. Now don't forget, this is not what the handle is. This is the top of the side. So what we do is, I think we should make that, say, 50 mil. So I'm not using the end of the tape because it's a bit hard to make, so to measure. So I'm just coming in at 100. And I'm going to go back 25 here, so 75, and out 25 here. So I'm using my good face, so we'll come, and then what I'll do is, just to double check here where we were. Yeah, we're here. So I'm going to bring this from this corner to this corner, and I'm going to bring this corner to this corner. Like so. So here's our shape. Now we'll put our handle here somewhere. So we can cut that here at this shape, or we can put a curve here. And what we can do is, you can use your tub of glue and basically just put it center and just draw around that edge. So you just have that little edge there. So I'll just take the edges off that and put a nice curve at the top. So we'll cut that out, and then we'll figure out where our handle's going to go. Okay, so we have the basic shape cut out. So you can either just cut it straight across here, or we're going to take this curve. So what I'm going to do is, I'm just going to take that curve off, just to show you how it's done. So we just clamp this to the bench, and we're going to use this jigsaw. Always when you're using a jigsaw, just start it just before you hit the timber. That way it won't jump back at you. And get your glasses on. Okay, so we have that one done. Now we're just going to make the other side. Okay, so we have our two ends. So now we need to assemble them. But first thing we want to do is make sure that we have our handle correct before we put it together, because we need to countersink in here and countersink the other end. So what we need to do first is, we'll just offer it up here. You can see I've marked this one. So that's where we'll go here. So this is the old broom handle I showed you before. So I have it here. I think the handle would look good there. So what I've done is I've just marked it underneath and on top, and I found the center. So when I take this back again and I measure this, from the bottom it is 250 mil, so 25 centimeters. Now I want to transfer this onto this one. So we know we have our center. We know that this is 280, so we know half is 90. And so if we run this up square, so basically just use, if you don't have a square roofing square, say that again, if you don't have a speed square or a roofing square, you can just use your handsaw. And So we're going to transfer that up, put a line, double check this again. So the center is 250. So we're going to come up 250, put a mark here. So our X here and an X here. This is where we need to drill through. So we're only going to drill about halfway through here. So again, so you're not drilling through the bench. Take it off of here. You're not going all the way through, but just to be on the safe side. So again, your glasses on. So we're using a 25mm spade bit. We drilled about halfway through using a 25mm spade bit. The same this side. And because this basically has a little pilot bit on the end, so you're going to come out the other side, which is perfect because that's where you want your screw. So now what we need to do is we need to measure for the handle. I'll just use that just to help me out there for a moment. So what we're going to do is, to get the length of our handle, halfway here and halfway here. And now I'll cut that and we'll fit it before we do final assembly. Okay, so just to double check, we have our handle cut. So that fits in there just nicely. So we'll just check that it fits in for both ends. Yep. Okay, so we're going to glue and screw this together. Okay, so we're near the end now. So we're at final assembly. So now's the time to give everything a bit of a light sand. Bear in mind that these are just old bits of ply. You're going to have, like me here, I have old screw holes. You have knots and bits and pieces. If you want to sand any of that down, now's the time to give it all a good sand. Any edges, anything, again, don't worry too much. These don't have to be exact. You know, you can give it a good sand. If you actually have an electric sander or a factory sander, just give it a go over with this. I'm just going to give it a very quick rub with this sandpaper here. Use a bit of the good rough sandpaper here, not the fine. Use a bit of coarse stuff. This is, I think it's 60. Yeah, this is 60 grade, so that'll just take the edges off it here, which is all we want for the moment. So, we'll give that a go after. Right, okay, so what we do is, we have our two ends. We go with this end first. What we should do is, do as we did before, just to mark these. Okay, and what we'll do is we'll just stick a few holes in here for your pilot holes. Again, we'll put 3 in here. Now, what we'll do is we'll give this a bit of glue. And we'll put a bit of glue in here, or our broom, or our brush handle. Put a couple in here just to hold it for the moment. Just put them in the bottom just in case we need to pull the sides just slightly if there's things off slightly. So don't worry about it for the moment. Well, they seem to be pretty good, so I'll actually put one in. Pull that out in nice and tight. Our pilot hole here. Again, see again, this pulls that all in nice and tight. Actually, we may as well put the other 2 in while we're here. two in along the bottom here, just to catch that bottom piece. Of course, you can fill and sand all of this. Okay, so that's the first side assembled. Now we have the other end. So again, so a bit of glue in there, and then just along the edge, I'll just put a bit along the bottom here as well. Okay, so now we just pop our handle in, try and hold that in place. And put this end on. So it's starting to take shape now, so it's getting good. Before we put any more in, I'll just double check. Yeah, everything seems to be looking good. So I'm just continuing these, just make sure that's pulled out nice and square, or yep, that's nice and square there. You get how powerful these drills are, so just want to make sure it doesn't go too far through. Now I need to pull this one back a little bit. So yeah, there we go. And the screws again. Even if you're off slightly, don't worry about things. The glue and the screws will pull everything nicely together for you. Just put the last couple in here. Now we're still okay here because when our little point here came through on a flat bit, it's still smaller than our head, so it will still go through here. Okay, now you could use a slightly larger screw. Let me see. They are 3.5s by 40s. I think these are, yeah, these are 4 by 50, so slightly larger head. So I think we'll put a couple of these in here just to hold the handle. Take your time, make sure that you go through the middle of the handle. So you don't want to bust that and come through the other side in any way. So just take your time and hold your finger down here, so gently, do it very, very slowly. And if you're off at all, you'll feel it. I can feel that pulling in there nice and tight. Okay guys, so that's the toolbox complete. Nice simple job. I've just put a bit of wash on that, bit of chalk paint, and just paint the handle green, just to freshen it up a little bit. But you can paint it any colour you like. Obviously, if you want this to look better, give it a couple of coats. But you can also put little dividers in here. Let me get this in here properly. So there you go. You can have it in two, or you could just stick another in here and divide those up and have them into three. So it's a good handy little box. It's got many uses. There's a friend of mine called James, a good friend of mine, and he made me this one as a gift. So as you can see, there's a slight difference on the end. This is made from ply, this is made from OSB board. This is 18mm at the side. This is, I'd say probably 9 or 12 maybe. But the good thing about this one is he calls this one the weekend toolbox. See, the dividers, they come in handy. Also has a bottle opener. So this weekend toolbox or this weekend toolbox, I prefer this one. So whichever one you want to make, you decide. In the meantime, cheers. Have a great weekend. Till next time.